who debated astronomy, mathematics, optics, and anatomy. The medieval Dark Ages narrative comes partly from Enlightenment writers who thought trashing the Middle Ages made their own era look smarter. Spoiler, smug marketing campaigns are not a modern invention. The Church didn't hate science, it just preferred it to fit within certain philosophical and theological boundaries. If you wanted to claim the Earth was round, no problem. Scholars had known that since antiquity. If you wanted to claim the Earth wasn't the centre of the universe, well, now you were poking at cosmic hierarchy, and that could get awkward at dinner parties in Rome. It's also worth noting that much of Europe's scientific tradition survived precisely because church institutions preserved it. Without those dusty monks in cold scriptoria, half of Aristotle's works might have been lost to mice and mildew. And without the church's interest in calculating the date of Easter, medieval Europe might have lagged centuries behind in astronomy. You've probably heard it in some half-baked history meme. In the Middle Ages, life expectancy was 30. Cue the mental image of a medieval peasant celebrating his 29th birthday, like it's his retirement party. The reality, however, is a bit less tragic, and a lot less fun for the wow, they were so primitive crowd. That number, the infamous 30, is an average. And averages are tricky things. Averages take everyone into account, including babies. And here's the kicker. Medieval infant mortality rates were brutal. A lot of children didn't survive their first 5 years thanks to disease, famine, or simply being too curious around open wells. Those early deaths dragged the average way down. If you made it out of childhood alive, your odds of living into your 50s or even 60s were decent, provided you avoided wars, plagues, and the occasional suspiciously pointed dagger in political circles. Medieval records are full of people who lived long enough to complain about kids these days in Latin. The idea that everyone keeled over at 30 also ignores the existence of elderly monarchs, bishops, farmers, and artisans. Even peasants could, and did, live into old age. Archaeological evidence shows plenty of skeletons with worn-down teeth, healed fractures and arthritis. Clear signs of people who had been around the block for decades. So why do we keep believing the "everyone died young" myth? Because it makes history sound more dramatic, and because saying the average was 30, but that's due to high child mortality, doesn't have the same punch at cocktail parties. Here's a modern analogy. If tomorrow every toddler tragically vanished, grim, I know, but stick with me, the average age of the population would skyrocket. Conversely, if a third of all babies died at birth,